into the burns unit, because you have gone way past being supporters or donors or anything else. You are truly part of our family, and without you, we just couldn't do what we do. Fortunately, it's not me doing it; it's John and the team. But the burns unit wouldn't be what it is without you. And every day we thank your efforts. We thank you for caring. And we thank you for being part of something that we think is extraordinarily special, and gives children and their families the hope and the life that they always dreamed of. And so you do that, and we thank you so very much. I would like to say that what you did on your bikes this year was extraordinary. I think when you ride from Wagga, you are superheroes. But to set off in that weather and to ride from here to Brisbane was just a feat beyond anything that I would ever expect people to do. So thank you all so very much for that, because it was truly an enormous achievement. So thank you. And without further ado, I will hand you over to John, who will tell you exactly what they're up to at the moment, and how your support is really helping him on a daily basis.
One thing that's happened since we last met is that the ministry have suddenly seen the light, and they've funded us much more appropriately. So this allows that theatre that you built, that we were only using on an irregular basis, to use on a regular basis. So this is an investment you made in us. I've forgotten how long ago, 10 years ago almost, by funding. That was a storeroom up there that you funded, and it's now a fully equipped Burns Theatre. Now for the first time we're going to use this on a regular 3 times a week basis, which is going to be fabulously different, because the children out there that need a general anaesthetic that had to go to the emergency list to wait a day or 2 can now be done. So that's a huge difference. So even though now the ministry are giving us money, then it's your investment. We're going to use that money, you know, to make the children better. So that's great. Laser is the other thing that you contributed to. It's not, from my point of view, it's not been radically different, which is disappointing. We're doing it. We're about to embark on a proper trial. I'm going to Florida to try and get up to speed. So I'm hopeful that I mean, I'm not at all hopeful. I know that this is another investment you've made in the future. I'm sure this is going to be a major difference in treating scars. So that's great. So you're involved, of course, in the acute burn issues. What I'd like to do with some of the money you raised this year, there are a couple of new innovations. There's a thing called Resell, which has been around a long time, very expensive. And the idea is this: that you take a tiny little, when there's a burn that's almost healed, and we have a number of those. We're not quite sure whether to leave it another 3 weeks with a dressing room. We're quite sure whether to take it to the operating theatre and graft it. And this is the thing where you take a tiny little half a postage stamp biopsy, and you shake it up in a solution that breaks the skin into its various cellular components. And then you prepare it and you spray it on. So this is not the Fiona Wood spray, so this is a little thing that you can do in the operating theatre. And it's expensive, so that's, if you're happy, I'd really like to fire this off and get a trial going, and we'll use it. And when it's expensive, it is expensive, $1,300 a go, but at the same time, if that saves 3 dressings or an operation, that is cheap. So I think that's a really great advance, so that's what I'm thinking about with the money this time. There's another dressing that's come over from Germany, and we've got a boy from Red Cross in Johannesburg. They're very clever over there, but this is a German dressing that they've used in Red Cross. He says that dressing has changed the face of burns management. It sort of molds into the skin and it stays there and enhances. There's certain chemicals in it that enhance the skin relief. So those are the 2 things I hope I'll tell you about next year, as well as, you know, how we're using your theatre and how laser therapy is improved. I want to say something else. I've been chatting with various people about you lot. I shouldn't really say this. I think it was very obvious. It was very obvious, you know, in that ride, that the New South Wales contingent were very special and very supportive, and on a personal level. And I think this is it just fits in so well with the way you will behave to us and obviously to each other. So congratulations, and thank you I'm so delighted to hear that. So thank you all very much.
I think Scott brought it up 3 years ago that we're going to do a combined ride was going to be on our 10-year, which was last year for us. End up, say 18 months ago, we met with the Queenslanders up at Terry Hills. One of them come down here, Gordon, and it grew into that, a bit of fruition, a bit of a headache, fairly large headache at one stage there. But in the end, once we started rolling, you get on your bikes and you're doing the easy stuff, like just riding your bikes and you're not thinking about the rest of the world. It all come in, the money was rolling in, thanks to our generous sponsors. We have a great time. Imagine parents with children coming out here, it's the best place in the world and our money's doing good for them.
We're going to get the best that we can offer in Australia, I think, with the most expert people and with a sort of sympathetic approach to life.
I feel quite guilty when everyone says, oh, you guys are amazing. I had a lot of fun. And I'm sure these guys were all the same. And to be able to do that, and you know, with the end result being, you know, supplying some much needed funds to you guys. Yeah, we visited some schools in 3 schools: Aberdeen, Glen Innes, and Tamworth. Which was, you know, I mean, that's a big part of what we've always done. We caught up with a patient, a previous patient from the hospital.
Yeah, 3 years ago down here in the hospital, and his mum...
On a day like today, wasn't it?
Yeah, his mum told us how he's increased his risk of survival from the burn from our education had stopped up and rolling that. And then when we were going up, knew we were going through Tamworth, we caught up with him.
And he's 14 or 15 now, but he said when we met him the first time that he remembered Stop, Drop and Roll from when he was in year 2 or something. And we use that little story every time we talk to kids now. We start out by saying, listen, because we've just met a kid, Josh, who ended up getting burned when he was 12. And he remembered the messages from when he was 2, and you know, there's a good chance it saved his life.
You do, and we love the fact that you itemise exactly where this money goes. You know, I say it every year, but there's nothing better than getting this money, handing it over, and you go, well, we do this and this and this, and we don't just send it off blindly. And you even had the forethought to ask, could I please use this here?
I did. When we talked about research,
could I please use it for this? I said, it's your money, you're the boss. You do whatever you want. He goes, I just want to make sure you're comfortable. And I thought that was amazing that you even bothered to ask us, so thank you for that. We've outdone ourselves this year, and we've come up with a grand total.
What an amazing...
Yeah, it was quite a challenge this year. Like we said, we did the Queensland thing. It was a totally different route, extra days, teaming up with the Queensland guys, but we still got there. And all.
I mean, this is absolutely, we'll be able to really rip into this.
Yeah.
No, it's quick. This was our 3rd year, and there's many more to come.
Awesome.
If you guys will have me on board.
Here's just a small thank you.
That's how it is.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is obviously an unfortunate synergy with what we do and what you guys do, and what you guys do. And I suppose it probably started for our organisation, you know, decades ago, with a bit of a, you know, with that link. But it's funny how it just sort of grabs you, it just sort of sucks you in. So we're delighted to be involved. We couldn't be happier to be involved alongside the Fireys here. And yourselves, ladies, thank you.
Mark is a champion. He's very well respected with the fire brigade, and holds a very high rank, but also jumps on board with this, and he's always got time to help us out when we can't thank you enough for what you've done personally and within the fire brigade as well. So on behalf of us all, we'd like to say thank you to you personally and to the fire brigade, and we'll like to present you with this.
Oh, how nice.
Thank you. It's about 11 years ago on a Sunday, Scott Hanley sent me an email about a ride to the log or something silly like that. Go away, it's Sunday, you know. And all these years later, it's sort of grown into this monumental thing. And this year, I had an extra few days on the ride to think about what it meant and chasing cars up and down. It's another, you know. And I have to agree, there's a synergy here, and with all the bad things going on in the world, this sort of epitomises society and how we operate, you know, and this is where the firefighters touch the public, touch the sponsors, and touch you people that do the miracles you do here. So I just think it's an amazing thing to be part of. When you're excited, Doc, we're all excited. It's great to hear. And I think coming down here is it means more, I think, than the boardroom or the courtyard. I think when we walk through the wards, that's what it's all about, seeing that. So, yeah. And in closing, it's great to hear the budget's been kind to somebody. Anyway, thank you.
You're an absolute champion. You inspired us all every day. And I think the Queenslanders, on the first, to give you an idea, there's a few old school guys there that were support that wanted to hook him after half an hour. I said, mate, what's he guy? He hasn't even done any training and this and that. And I'm going, hang on a minute, just have a look what's going on here. Let's think about what we're doing. And eventually, that same guy that said that, the next night was in tears talking to Carl because he was so inspired by what had happened and what he was seeing. And the Carl just did not want to give in. He would not give in, and stayed on that bike, probably much to Cass's disgust because he's probably getting sick and calling her, I'm really sick, but won't tell anyone else. But that's the way you're champion. So we've got your little thing. And also, we set a limit. We try and make it $2,000 per rider to get on. He's gone 10. So just a small thank you. I know you don't drink or eat chocolate, but
Make it look like a floating head.
I think you have to say that.